Hello, every pony. My name's Benjamin Brony.
I'm Captain Lawrence Cersei.
I'm Kent Sylvanica on Correct.
And this is Ballet Reception Radio.
No BTQ
What?
This is BronyTrioRadio.
This is an alright episode.
Yeah, this is episode 7, Parental Glideance of season 7 of MLP. And I guess I'll just start off because Lawrence Cersei says he has a long ass list. So first off, this episode has a lot more enthralling story than other episodes we've had this season. It kind of does actually pull you in and make you more entertained than other ones. We've just had that kind of weird thing where it's just been like good, bad, good, bad, good, good, bad, bad, type thing episodes. It's really weird this season, but hey, it shows that they're still able to do at least episodes that are good. Some things I wanted to say, when Scootaloo slings herself to the Cloudsdale, just imagine if that wasn't hard enough, because she's just like, yes!
Or if it turned into a Shooting Stars video.
Oh no, you just made me think of that. Oh shit. Also, Scootaloo was almost as annoying as Rarity was in last episode with all of her screaming. Like, when I first watched it, I was like, okay, holy shit, that's enough screaming. And it also reminded me just recently when I rewatched that one video, I think it was Take On Me, where the guy's head turned into a teapot and it's like,
Oh, you know what's the worst? You know what's the worst part? I was watching the Canadian version, so I was practically hearing a chipmunk screeching.
I know, yeah, same here. It's because they're released early. We all watch them kind of early, so the screaming was even more high pitched than it would be normal. It's like ah! Oh my god, you're right. Also, I want to try that sandwich that they made. Fucking, I think it was like potato and like pasta sandwich on rye or whatever it was. Now I'm gonna really make that just to see how good it would taste.
Surprised you didn't grow up morbidly obese from eating that all the time.
Yeah, seriously, because she was like, oh, she likes the carb load, and it's like, dang, if you're gonna eat that many fucking sandwiches in your childhood, why aren't you fucking fat? Also that door. It was great. The door, like, that was actually one of those jokes that kind of gave me a reminiscent of season 2 to 1, because it was kind of like a gag that you don't see oftentimes in Pony, where the door's like,
Yeah, I liked how it just kept using it, and then that was on my list. It reminded me of this one guy I saw on YouTube who built a Seinfeld door, so anytime you opened it and walked through it, it played the Seinfeld.
Oh my god! Oh my god, that is so awesome! And just imagine every time your friend walks in, like, but yeah, you can go into your now what you like about it.
That's what I liked how they had cute fangirl scoots for a great opener. And
yeah.
The funny thing is, she reminded me of Blythe, and I believe it was the season 3 or 4 finale of Lola's Pet Shop, when she kept fangirling over the soul patches and kept shattering that dude's sunglasses.
Oh yeah.
I just imagine if like a vinyl scratch was around, her glasses would keep shattering or something.
That'd be a great gag.
And one other thing, it's funny because at the beginning I was like, oh man, I love Rainbow Dash's parents, but now I just think they're nut bars.
Well, I mean, I still like them. I mean, I guess they kind of realized that they shouldn't be so overbearing. That's why they kind of matured in their character. I think they can mature in one episode.
And another thing on Scootaloo, I think she could definitely be a miniature Frank West with her photography skills.
Oh, that's so cool! Oh man, now I want to put like a little suit on her, like Frank West. She's taking pictures of him. She's like, fantastic.
Also, another thing, I'm still not used to seeing supportive Diamond Tiara, like when they were at the class and everyone was cheering. It was actually strange for me seeing like a happy Diamond Tiara.
I was completely thrown off. I was like, wait, she's being supportive? Oh yeah, I forgot.
I thought we were making a snappy comeback.
Well, I mean, see, if I would expect them to write her at least to be kind of like teasing them, but still be friends, kind of like how normal friends do and shit. But anymore.
Yeah. Also, that's not a towel there that you're wearing over your head.
What?
I don't know.
So overalls.
Okay.
Musculars.
Kent, what about you?
I guess I'll say a lot of things. I'll immediately go out and say I like this episode. I like this episode a lot. They kept the pace going on really well. And, finally, we get to see her parents, and I'm 100% sure, and I'm glad that it wasn't William Shatner that voiced her parents or her dad.
I didn't.
I'm so glad, because that would have been such a throwaway role, just like, hey, their parents are going to show up only once.
Well, no. Now that they've shown up, they're not going to show up just once. I mean, I feel like they're actually kind of characters that they might bring back several times.
Which is going to be good. Also,
And they'll be even more annoying.
what I was thinking earlier, I feel like these should have been Pinkie Pie's parents because of how enthusiastic they are.
Well, oh yeah, kind of, but like, that's the thing though. They chose good to make Pinkie Pie's parents complete like just bland asses, because that makes it kind of funny.
So yeah,
Well, then that'd mean Rainbow Dash should have to have parents like, you suck. Your sister, your sister there is the leader of the world. She has slaves, and what are you doing? You're just a damn wonderbolt.
90s parents. Really abusive. But also, all the things Scootaloo was putting in her book of memories, the shitty pissy diaper and the moldy sandwich. And the skin cells she collects in the book. I don't know. This episode was so like well paced overall, and they a lot of emphasis of their wings, like hands.
Oh yeah, I noticed that they were using their hands like a shit ton, like actual.
You mean their
wings like
wings?
hands. I said hands like wings. Their hands are like wings.
Yeah, did you see the secret Equestria girls, Rainbow Dash in the background?
No, in her room though. I did see that fat, pudgy Rainbow Dash plushie that reminded me of the piggy banks at Walmart.
Seriously though, when they were all flying around, they were behind the bleachers, Rainbow Dash and Twilight from Equestria girls.
Huh. Also, kind of like Rainbow Dash had a picture of Twilight Alicorn Twilight Sparkle in her room. I don't know if it was a leftover
Her secret lover.
Messed up vector that they left in or whatever, but
She predicted the future. She drew wings on Twilight. She's like,
oh god, that's so Raven.
oh god, that's so dashy.
it's already.
That's so dashy.
I think we talked about a good portion of what we had in mind, so should we be on the guest so we can talk with them?
Yes.
Just real fast, I want to say stuff I didn't like. Absolutely zero. This episode was great overall.
Yeah, I can honestly say I'd give this episode like maybe an 8.75.
This episode's like a 9. Dude, it's like no.
I like this episode. Already a tapeworm burrowing to my pee hole out of -7.
What the fuck?
With that note, we'll bring in the guest.
What?
Please.
Okay, bring on the guest.
Ctaucu. Come on, please.
Hi, that's me.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, that thing about the pee hole was disturbing.
well, that's Kent, our local resident disturbing, needs medical attention.
I'm hungry.
Sorry,
So, wait, Ctaucu? Ctaucu. So, when did you get into the fandom and how? The My Little Pony fandom?
So it all started 2012, January 20th, 2012. I was just on YouTube, really bored, and a video from Yaplap or Solrak, whatever you want to call it. It was a screen version of Find a Pet, and I was like, what the heck is this? I click it, and for some reason, instead of clicking off of it right away, I got kind of interested. I'm like, what was this show? And it took me a couple days, actually. No, not a couple days. It was like later that day. I finally found the episode, which was Find a Pet, and I watched it. I'm like, that was okay. I finally find the word brony. I somehow am able to research it without finding all the cringy stuff. And over 5 years later, here we are, talking with you.
Damn. Nice.
Oh, that's funny because I remember back like in the early days, those screaming ones. They always had this effing. I think it was the first one I was introduced to was this effing day aria, and those used to be like my favorite things.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was Find an Effing Pet. That's what it was. Yeah.
Find a fucking pet.
Yeah, it was like I go back and look at it. I'm like, this is funny to me now. I was 11 when I saw that. I don't know how I found it funny. So I'm 16 now. I'm 16 now. If I find everything that's involved with cursing funny, so
It happens.
yeah, typical edgy.
You'll grow out of it, then you'll grow back into it.
Yeah.
But dang,
So-
that's really early. 2012. I wish I had the
Yeah.
luxury of getting it early.
Yeah, I've been here for a long time. So yeah, I've
5 years.
Huh?
I said 5 years.
Yeah. Ooh, Jesus.
Pretty
So,
awesome.
So what did you like about this episode? Ctaucu or Ctaucu, whatever.
So, Ctaucu, there you go. So, the thing I liked about this episode was that, like, it took me by surprise. Like, the Canadian spoilers kind of screwed up the fact. I'm like, okay, something about Dash's parents is coming. What are they going to do with this? I thought, okay, they're either going to be, like, just, oh, here's their parents, okay, fan fiction away, or it's either going to be her parents are, like, super strict, kind of like Mickey's parents. And then I knew Ctaucu was involved, so I'm like, okay, Ctaucu's going to get, like, a harsh reality, isn't she? Complete curveball of them being super crazy supportive. I'm like, this kind of makes a little bit of sense of how Dash got her massive ego, but she also had, like, that massive ego fixed in with the fact that she actually does have talent. And I mean, what? Because now that I look at, like, the show wouldn't give Dash kind of strict parents. That'd be kind of mean. But I think it kind of like
The reason that she's so good is because she has strict parents. They pushed her to the limit. She's like, you know what, do it now.
yeah.
You're
But I
trained. 2 hours.
that would make sense, I think. But yeah, I mean, her parents being that way, I think it kind of makes sense a little bit.
So that's actually a very good point, because I actually never made the connection that would be why she has such a high ego. That makes perfect sense now.
You didn't make that connection?
No, I honestly didn't. I don't know. I was just so focused between Ctaucu and Rainbow Dash's parents being nut bars.
The first time I watched this episode, I realized that's what it was kind of hinting to.
Also, Derpy was best. She won all the awards when she was doing that flashback.
Yeah, that was a
And then she got more and more dirty.
Yeah.
Doesn't she always win in flashbacks and stuff like that?
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
She's the best one out of everyone.
She's Beth Pony.
Yeah. So, do I go on to my negative now?
Sure.
Yes.
Alright,
As long
so
as
my
you're done with
negative
the good
is
stuff.
kind of my negative is kind of connected to my positive. It's that Dash's parents are very inaccurate to real life parents. Like,
Oh
maybe-
yeah, that's for sure.
yeah, like here's the thing. Like, when up until like 4th grade, I did karate, and I got very far into it until things happened. I wasn't able to do it. But whenever I was like at the tests, every they're like once a month you could like qualify for a test, and if you passed, you got to the next belt. And I remember, like, they weren't in the studio with flags and everything saying, "Go Taco, go, go!" But whenever like I was a little bit nervous, I looked at them. They like gave me a thumbs up. They had the camera out and everything because they had a handy cam out because this was 2008 and everybody had one. That's like the perfect level because that's at least that's what I saw. Because I'm not a soccer kid. I'm not a football kid. But from like what my sports friends have told me about, their parents are just there like good job, man, you did it. Dash's parents just go onto the edge of like cringy. Like I had trouble watching them. Like at that thing with the Wonderbolt show where they're like shooting up the fireworks. Like at that moment, I was like, I was looking out my window. I'm like, I want to jump out that window right now. Like,
parents are not that supportive, especially like I mean, come on, like even my parents and stuff. They know we have a panel and stuff going on Everfree, and they can't even make it. My dad makes it. He's like right at the end, but like yeah, parents are not that supportive. I mean, they are, but it's like they're not like that supportive.
Yeah, like maybe like they're like doing what my parents do. Then after they're like, oh my god, you're the best thing alive, and during it, no. Yeah, but
You're the best thing alive next to the superstar.
Yeah, but then again, if they weren't that supportive, Ctaucu would have nobody to fangirl towards. So, because like Scootaloo's fangirling was on par with Dash's parents' craziness about her.
That made me think kind of like how bronies find when bronies find other bronies, they're like, yes, we have something to fan over stuff with. Like they were basically the equivalent of Ctaucu finding that with the parents.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Kind of like when I found my first one. That was awkward.
All I can say is that in the end, this episode made me like Ctaucu a whole lot more. Then again, I don't think I've seen a Ctaucu episode in which I liked her any less.
So this kind of reminded me of other episodes, Sleepless in Ponyville, because it's a development for her, where Rainbow Dash was teaching her and comforting her, and now she's trying to comfort Rainbow Dash.
Oh, it's kind of like the Tables of Turn type thing. Oh, that's kind of cool. I didn't realize that.
It kind of mentioned something like that in the previous episode.
Yeah, I mean, I like they always try to say like Ctaucu is like looks up to Rainbow Dash and everything, but I still feel like one day the show writers are gonna be like we need to take their like relationship a little bit step further, and with all this, I don't know how that's gonna happen.
No, not that type of further. I'm still waiting for the day that Ctaucu can like at least try to fly or at least give more effort into it.
Yeah, it's.
You know what they could do is engineer the same thing that they have Tank, so she could at least fly.
See, that's the thing. Why haven't they thought of that? Fucking, I would have been like, man, give me one of them.
I don't know what jerks. They like putting her down.
So are we done here?
I guess
so.
Unless you guys have a little more to add.
I don't really.
I have one more thing.
Okay.
I like Rainbow Dash's mom way too much than I should.
Yeah, she's pretty cute. I liked how they act.
Like my thing is like I see the episode like it ends at 12 p.m. for me. And I'm like, okay, by 5 p.m. I should go on DeviantArt and see at least one piece of art, and I was right.
Yep.
Because like it was like sometime in the afternoon I was on Tumblr and look at that, there's Rainbow Dash's mom. So
went on a derpy brew and I was scared.
There's too much of it. Also, Ctaucu, did you know where my tie?
Huh?
Did you know where my tie for business purposes because of this podcast?
Sorry, can't hear you.
Did you know where my tie?
My tie?
That'll work. And for that, also, thank you everybody for tuning in. Thank you, London.
Thanks for tuning in, every pony. This has been Parental Glideance episode 7.
Season. Lucky number 7.
Season 7.
Number 7 never fails, man. Never fails.
Yeah.
Except Tekken 7. I feel like that's gonna be crap.
If you want to be a guest on our podcast, go down to the description. Go to my Discord.
They know it. They already know. Thank you, Ctaucu, for being our guest. Thank you very much for joining us.
No problem.
For a pretty dang good episode.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm
Alright, bye, my pony.
Take care, y'all. Horse RC usually says see you in the stables.
No time for a hater cause they too rude. Now I got my own series on YouTube.